Welcome to Off the X podcast. My voice is probably a little higher than you're expecting because the widows are in the house. What's up, ladies?
Woo! Hey.
The boys let us back on the podcast. It has been 2 years.
Yeah.
Wow. It's been a very long time since we've been on this gig, but here we are, +1. We have the lovely Ansley Covington.
Thank you.
Here with Matt.
Good to be here.
Marissa Wells.
Hello, hello.
Everybody knows who Ansley Covington is. I'm Matt's wife.
And we also have Marissa Wells returning,
Yes.
the better half of Tyler, sharpshooter, and Leah Carvajal.
Hello.
Here with Forrest. And me riding solo because Barrett's with the kids.
What's that?
Well, what good stories do we have?
Can do that. Okay. So, first off, do y'all realize that y'all were one of the most requested shows to come back again? Did y'all know that?
I wish I could say I wasn't surprised.
I mean,
Yikes.
that's okay. You can say it like that.
I'm
You
just
wish
saying
you could say
because
you were surprised.
Yeah.
But we're not surprised.
We're not surprised because I don't feel like there's any other waterfowl podcast that features a woman's perspective.
You might be right, but we got so many comments about that episode. And I still get comments from people that maybe they're new to the show and we'll start some conversation and they'll say, I listened to the Waterfowl Widows with my wife and she loved it. I loved it. And the whole conversation goes from there. But sorry, it took 2 years. That's kind of Matt's fault. I mean, our fault.
People are just starting to wonder. They just wanted to make sure that we were all still around.
Well, I definitely don't think mid-season is the right opportunity to have us on.
That's why we waited till all the hunting seasons are over and we're kind of halfway between the end of duck season and the beginning of the next one, and we're gonna try it now. Okay, so let's have y'all's recap of how last season went. All the great things, maybe one or two bad things if you want to, but all the great things about last duck season.
So this was our first year to have Tyler working in the duck hunting industry and then for the ducks and then go straight into duck hunting. So that was probably our biggest challenge. Was there was never a break. It was just from development, we got to hurry for the ducks, we got to get everything done, and literally I think his last project ended probably the day before duck hunting started. So we did have a couple breaks during duck hunting season. We went on a trip. I've learned that that's something that I need is on the split, at least one of the splits, I need to go do something with him or with friends or for us to just reconnect and touch base. So
We got to go fire our own guns. That's what's
that's
happening.
right. Yeah. That's when we went on no, that wasn't during a split, was it?
I think it was.
Yeah, it was. Okay.
When we went crane hunting.
Yeah, we went crane hunting. And so that was good. That would be my recap, is that it was hard because there wasn't really a break. But towards the end, I got to the point where I was like, well, this is just what we're doing. So, yeah.
This year for me, I feel like it was interesting being supportive of Barrett through more of a tough season. Kind of coming home, feeling a little bit frustrated, defeated by the ducks. Maybe that's more common for everybody else also, but just letting him process through his day, what happened, and being in the headspace to do that myself after being home with kids, because ours are 6, 4, and 2 now. So it is just wild at our house. So literally hearing mom, 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 mom all day long. And then Barrett comes home and he's a little bit down. He's, tired and, I need to be interested. Obviously I'm interested in his hobby and his life and what he's got going on, but trying to get in the headspace to be supportive and process through those things when my head was exhausted. So I think that was probably one of the biggest things for me. And then also just a little bit of logistics of there's just a lot of responsibilities when you have a big family and when you have a house to take care of. And so we did a lot of trying to figure out how to make that work. One of the things that I've learned is it's not that I want to leave my house and leave my kids as soon as Barrett gets back, give me a break. I got to get out of here. It's just the constant responsibilities. I think more than anything, realizing I just need a little bit of a break from responsibility, because it feels like Barrett gets to go have a break from responsibility. So kind of equating it to that, not like, no, I'm not trying to just leave the house and I'm not trying to go to Target or anything like that. I just need a break from like cooking meals and cleaning up for a little bit. So that was kind of our duck season. Just a little bit of struggle and disappointment with the season and trying to be there for each other in the ways that we can.
So it started out pretty good. Kind of like y'all, Marissa, it was the first year where you were actually working like in the waterfowl industry, because last year was when he quit his job in OT and started doing duck calls. So with that, I feel like I went into it a little more forgiving, a little more open to like, okay, now hunts, some of them are just for fun, but some of them are business networking. And so I was a lot more like chill about it starting out than I probably used to have been. And our kids are a little bit older now, and they're 8 and 4. And so it did feel like the first year where I wasn't just like drowning when he would leave for an extended period of time. Like they can entertain themselves now, and, you know, they're just more chill now. I'm not having to constantly like get up and do all the mom things. So it's a lot easier in that way. But I also started a new job last year, and I have been working a lot more than I have in the past few years, including some weekends. So he wasn't getting to hunt as many weekends as he wanted to. And so probably about mid-season, we had a few pretty tense moments. Overall, I feel like it was smoother than normal. I don't know if he agrees with that, but overall, I feel like it was. But the couple of moments that were tense were like, they were doozies for sure.
Well, so I was pregnant this year. So this is our first kid. So past prior duck seasons, you know, it's never like it's just me at home. So I don't have kids to deal with or wrangle or be at home with. But anyway, so I was pregnant for this first split, and you were home a lot, I'd say, just because we didn't know when I was going to have the baby. And then ended up having Crew January 4th. So then season was back open by the time he was born again. And my mom was able to stay with us for the first 2 weeks, which was great. And so I think Matt had a couple of times that he got to go hunting because my mom was home with me. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. I've got help. Well, then it was when my mom left, and I think it was like week 3 when with Crew that Matt was like, okay, I'm going to go hunting. I was like, no, you're not. You're leaving me home with this fresh newborn by myself.
And I don't know what I'm doing.
But for real, I was like, no, you're really not. Like, there's just no way. But then he kind of was like, Ansley, but this is like also my job. This isn't just me. Like, it's my hobby, but like, it's also my job. And most people after 2 weeks of paternity leave, you're back at work. And it kind of clicked with me like, oh, you're right. Okay. So we got through that. But that was my one little like breakdown of like, I have a newborn. I can't do this by myself. Mm-hmm. But
it's probably more than just circumstantial.
Yeah.
So a lot going on.
There was a lot. Yes. I don't remember that time, honestly.
It's for the best.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, since our kids are 11 and 8, it does get better. Like there really becomes this, hey, yeah, go have fun. Like, we're going to go have fun. Mm-hmm. My girls can just hop in the car, and we don't have a car seat and a backpack and snacks and all the things. Diapers. Like, we don't have any of that. So it does get better.
If you stop having kids.
That's the trick. Yeah.
even in our text with the girls talking about the podcast tonight, Leah had to say something like, "You're not pregnant, are you?" And I'm like, "No, I am not."
I never know.
I do know. I'm not. Okay, we're good.
So Ansley, you feel like even before you had Crew, how did you handle him being gone so much? Because there's a big difference of, I mean, I like to go hunting. And so did you have those moments where he was gone and you kind of just wanted to be with him even before crew?
Yeah. So before we met, Matt's always been in the industry. So when we were dating, he was actually traveling so much more for his job at the time, like across the United States, always, like weeks on end. He was gone a lot. So when we first got married, same thing, just gone a lot. And so it wasn't until he changed jobs a year ago that he got to be home a lot more. So actually it was like, oh, you're home so much more. So him leaving to go hunting just within the state is like not a big deal because he can at least come home at night, whereas before he was gone for weeks on end.
Yeah, that's true.
So actually, it's probably beneficial for me, Matt too.
Yeah, definitely me too.
That I was kind of used to it, I guess you could say, of him being gone so much. And now I feel like he's home a lot more. So it's not that big of a deal for me when he does want to go hunt.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I do know he'll be.
Good perspective.
Yeah, it's nice for me because I don't know any other way. Except for when Crew was a newborn.
Jamie, earlier when you were talking about, having to adjust your mindset, I remember conversations that you and I would have about how can I be just in a better space to receive what comes in the door. And so I want to credit you for, I do feel like that has greatly improved just in our conversations with each other about our own struggles and talking through with one another. And so I was very impressed by how you were able to really kind of say, okay, this is something that I need to work on. And so you actually applied that and I could see the difference.
Well, that just shows why this group that we have here is so important too, is being able to talk through these things together with other ladies who are going through similar things or have been through different seasons of whatever version of this that we're going through. And so I appreciate that. Even though it's a joke that we have the widows group text, like it really does mean a lot to know that you can reach out to somebody and be like, hey, this is what's going on. But what I love about these ladies is we're not just going to complain about it and stay there. Like we can't do that. We want better than that. We don't want to dread 60 days. That's not really 60 days. But anyway, we don't want to dread it. We actually want to figure out how to thrive no matter what's going on. So I'm thankful that I have all of you to talk through those things with. And that we're also pushing each other toward a higher mindset, a higher level of functioning for our families. Because eventually, like I know I've got 2 boys and I really don't put it past our daughter either. Her name is Timber, for goodness sake. So like one day they're going to be gone with Barrett hunting. Maybe we'll all be together. I don't know. So this is just a short season and they're going to start enjoying that. And what kind of precedent am I setting in our family? And what can I learn to even help them carry it into their future families? So
yeah,
I appreciate our like kind of higher calling mindset of how to function with our families through all this.
So you want more questions? I wasn't even prepared to go to more questions yet, but that's okay. I do want to start back before duck season though, because this deer season, we've got your perspective of how Piper and Briar's deer hunts went. I would like to get Marissa's perspective of how those hunts went. Like when you heard that Piper and Briar had successful hunts, like I'd like to hear your perspective on that.
I was jealous as hell. I was like, why was I not in the stand with y'all? And I'll tell you why. Because Matt was there. Because Matt Covington was there, and we had to film it, and that is important. And so, but
you wanted to see it with your own eyeballs, not for a camera lens, Matt.
And I was like, oh my goodness, of course they killed one the day that I didn't go, right? But I know that Matt wasn't there with Piper, but I think it's important for the girls to have that moment with their dad without me present. Because they had moments with me without him present of different perspectives. But, I just think that's a special time for them and he values that. And, in the phone call that I get after of them being excited, that's even special too.
What did they say?
Yeah,
I'm interested in how each one of them knowing the girls and how different they are.
Well, they get real high pitched in their voice and they get real excited and, they just tell me the story and I ask questions about what happened and how did you feel? And then I think just with Briar's deer that she shot, just having the video, oh my goodness, it's just priceless to have that experience and to look back on and just, when they're old and have left me And I can just remember them being little and that first buck and exactly. Listen, it's self-sabotage, but it feels good.
My boys cried when I left to record this, and so I'm trying not to have a moment here.
I know, but yeah, no, it's really cool. And we all, as a family, we've had this kind of diet change. And so, we're mainly eating meat now, and they have a part to play in that. And it's really cool because, we've already talked about as a family, like, okay, this hunting season, like we've got to fill the freezers. And they're like, we're ready.
Oh,
My boys get the biggest when we talk about, we're eating oryx meat. We're eating oryx burgers
exactly.
tonight or something. They get a big
It's
kick
really
out of
cool.
it. Yeah, thank you, Daddy. And I try to tell them, thank Dad for shooting this.
That's
for
right.
us
That's
and
sweet.
harvesting this for us.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's just, we talk about stuff like that. And the other day we counted up like, okay, we went through how many deer and we're almost out. And so how many do we need to kill? Do we need to all limit out so that we have enough food to feed us for the year? It's really cool. I mean, honestly, that because I don't know if he would have pushed them to go, because he's a very gentle parent in terms of like, what do you want to do, instead of just saying, no, we're getting up and going. There's a difference. And so he lets them have choice, and if they don't like it, he's not going to make them go. And so, but I think they're hooked, honestly. And I'm going next time because I have a limit. I have limits to kill.
have you been hunting before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never shot a deer though. So I'm kind of anxious about what that experience is like. But what I think is going to be cool is that the girls have already done it, and they're going to have a sense of pride to say, Mom, you'll be okay. Or this is how it feels, right? Like, it's worth it, or whatever their messaging is going to be. I think it's going to be really special.
And y'all have already kind of answered this about what life was like after the baby and hunting season and everything else. So y'all got through duck season. You kind of got into a flow, right? How was turkey season?
Turkey season.
Efficient. What do you mean?
It's been real.
Your turkey season was real different. I hope you're coming to me next.
Y'all just flow into it.
It's worth it because Matt just keeps bringing home some meat. So
That's
it's
right.
really
That's
it's
right.
worth it.
Do y'all like to eat turkey?
Yes, Matt makes the best fried turkey nuggets ever. Like he's perfected it.
that sounds
and it's almost like Chick-fil-A nuggets. Well, we should give some away because we make so much.
Why do you need the recipe?
I mean,
we'll get to that.
So anyway, so yes, I love it. It's good stuff.
Some money for that.
To sell it?
No, I mean, I'll just buy some for me. Make me some turkey
And
nuggets.
shout out to her mom too, because she came in town the one trip I did take. One of the trips I took out of state. Your mom came in and helped anytime. And then you
It
went to
was-
Missouri with me.
Hold up. So
Yeah, stop interrupting. This is her time.
no, it was I told him, I said, okay, Matt, my maternity leaves. I go back to work April 1st. He goes, I have a turkey hunt that week. The week I go back to work, he has a turkey hunt out of state
He didn't plan that
in
well.
Florida. And I'm like, how am I supposed to wake up at 5 a.m., take care of the baby, and get ready for work, drop the baby off at your parents? I was just like, how is this going to work? Like, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, I asked my mom to come down, and she was able to do that. Which even the Florida trip fell through, but since my mom was coming anyway, he got the Alabama trip all set up and everything, thanks to Tyler. But so yeah, no, actually, turkey season has been great, especially because he's
Harvested.
harvested 2, 3, 3. Yeah, so it's been good. Jamie,
So we're talking turkey season now. You go, Jamie.
Rewinding back to me talking about how to process these things with a disappointed husband. So, Barrett, bless him. I mean, he did his turkey hunt. He went all the way to North Carolina. So it was not even remotely close. He drove 10 hours. And by the way, he listened to a podcast for the entire drive there and back. He did not listen to any music. So he was like in a whole mood when he got home too, because it was all like a military podcast.
He was ready to.
Sean Ryan.
Yes. Nonstop for like 20 hours. So anyway, he just had a lot to learn just because he's never turkey hunted. He's never had any experience with it. And so it was cool to hear about all he learned, but I didn't know what to expect. And for it to just kind of show up on my calendar, I was like,
Do y'all share a calendar too?
We do. But I mean, just like, I didn't have any
Yeah.
realm of knowledge of turkey season or when it is or what it entails or that you're driving to North Carolina or wherever you're going. I had no frame of reference. And so it's April. I mean, we've got Easter and spring break. And then I ended up doing some like workout competition thing like the weekend after he got back, like all weekend. So between that first turkey hunt and then me doing that, and then I think then he's trying to hunt in state a couple of times too. And so I don't know. I just wasn't ready for it. In my mind, hunting season was over. And so that little bit of unpredictability just like popped back up into my world. And
So it
was
wasn't
little
even like a
difficult.
conversation of like, hey, I think I'm interested in turkey.
No, we did. No,
Okay.
we talked about it. He had been talking about it for a while, but still I'm going at like really high rate of speed.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's here. It's like, oh, that's next weekend that you're gone. Oh man. I tried to get my mom to come. She came for like a few hours and then left me. So anyway.
So am I allowed to talk about turkey season?
I mean,
Yeah, let's talk about it. Please go. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
I'm not really sure what the listeners know already.
know nothing. I don't want the listeners to know anything.
So here's how it went down. My husband, who has never been interested in turkey hunting, as far as I know,
Literally said it on the podcast.
randomly woke up one day. It was about literally like that. And was like, I think I'm going to turkey hunt this year. So this is like, what, 24 hours notice for me? Like,
No.
it felt that way.
It was just sudden.
It was sudden. It was out of nowhere. It was right before the season started. I didn't know even how long turkey season is. And all of a sudden he's like asking me, well, what day can I go? What day, can I go this day? Can I go this date? And so it literally, like Jamie said, it felt like we have finished duck season. And then he like stormed back in the room and said, and one more thing.
You thought
That's what it felt
you
like.
had reprieve.
Yes.
Big boy pants on. That's a big boy.
He said, "Listen, woman."
Yes.
I'm gonna shoot at turkeys.
No, that's not how it went. That was the feeling. It was like, I thought this was over. Nope. Just kidding. So I, with duck season, I can at least mentally prepare. I know the world is going to stop on that day every year. I was not mentally prepared for turkey season. I was in full like work mode. It's spring. I'm busy. Anyway, and it was like this secret he was keeping from the world
It really
that you all are
was.
finding out now.
Everybody but maybe
So-
Barrett.
Yeah, so he was like, okay, but I'm not going to tell anybody until I kill one. And I was like, that's dumb. Why you?
Which is why he still hasn't
Why?
talked about it.
He was like, I'm just not going to. I was like, whatever, man, that's your business. Well, then he kills one finally. I'm like, so you're going to tell everyone now? He's like, I don't know. I was like, that is so smug.
He still wasn't
like,
sure if he was going to tell anyone.
It was like he had this secret that he was just, I don't know.
And to me, because I was privy to the Marco Polo, he knew exactly what he was doing. He had it all planned. Like it was like this movie scene. He had it all planned out as to what he was going to do, and he just flopped that bird on his shoulder.
Oh my gosh.
And I looked at Tyler and I was like, "Did you know?" And Tyler's like, "Nope, I didn't."
And it was it was all I could do not to text y'all and be like, this you know what is turkey hunting right now. And I'm not allowed to
keep the secret.
You are not welcome.
Have you told her about the Pond Creek turkey calls you're making for next year? Just kidding.
No, not happening.
Yeah, I asked Matt. I was like, "Does he know how to call a turkey?" He's like, he's a world championship duck caller. I think he knows how to call a turkey." I'm like, "Oh, well, I guess."
I don't know.
both
But
have
as
feathers.
soon as he killed one, I was like, well, great. Now this is a thing.
Yeah.
Now this is a new addiction. That's what we needed. We needed a new addiction. But I do like turkey meat, so I'll forgive you for that. And it is a shorter, I was told turkey season is like 2.5 weeks. I was like, great. So it's
In
he's like,
Arkansas.
well, in Arkansas, then you can go other places. I'm like, of course.
Of course.
But this Chasing 49 thing, and now
That's
we're
a bad
watching
influence.
documentaries about it. Now we're watching documentaries.
Oh yeah,
about
turkey hunting has been on
Ellie and-
our TV on YouTube for weeks
That's what
now.
my house is like.
Yes.
10th
Same.
Legion. We're
Same.
learning about 10th Legion looking.
That's hilarious.
You can't buy that book anywhere. I've tried.
I know. I looked on eBay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the world knows Forrest is a turkey hunter now, and he killed one.
Turkey killer. He's a turkey killer.
It was the just kidding moment that he had.
What's next? That's my question. What's next?
Are you sure?
What's next that I don't
So
know
what's a
about?
summer season?
Okay, hold
I mean,
on.
it's year
Go back.
round in our house.
Go back. You were
Well, so Tyler, they used to have this hunting show, Hunter's Addiction, right?
Right.
I mean, this is nothing new to us, right? And so,
Why didn't you warn us?
well, trauma response, the whole thing. But genuinely speaking, like when the last turkey hunt Tyler went on was, that was in 2013. It was May, and he was in Kansas. And I get a call from him, and he told me that his father tried to leave him in Kansas because his dad and his mom were getting divorced. And so it's like they were on a huge turkey hunting trip, and there's just a lot of stuff there, and
Man.
yeah, so it's hard to be in the turkey world again, especially after he's passed away, and we can't really like mend it, and it's just kind of an odd place for all of it. But I will say, we did have turkey out our front door, and his first instinct was to grab a gun.
Mm-hmm.
So it's there. I think we just got to kind of work through.
Figure out the right time to maybe redeem that.
Yeah, exactly, and just I think
Or just leave it.
yeah. But now he does have a little bit of FOMO. So it's like we're having some conversations about it. He's not quite there of saying, "Yep, I'm ready to go." I do think if there was a trip, I know that the Rio turkey, that's something special for him.
They're making eyes. They're making eyes.
Matt heard the word trip, and he was like,
video footage of that.
But
I had to get trucks fueled up.
yeah, but genuinely, like I'll never forget that phone call, and it's just associated with turkey hunting, and so we just got some things to work through. But I'm glad that y'all are experiencing it, and I'm glad that I'm not at the moment.
It's crazy how much like your life experiences really do tie into different phases and seasons of
It's
hunting.
not just about hunting.
Yeah.
It's about the stories, and it's about the who's around and what makes it special and what makes it not so special. So
I mean, Matt started a whole journal about his turkey hunts called the Turkey Tales because of all of his memories growing up with his dad and hunting. And so anyway, it's been fun to read all of his stories written down and what it means to him. It means a lot.
I will say that I know Tyler and I have had conversations about when Matt's dad's gone with them hunting and how special it is for Tyler to witness that. And so it's not that he's like, I can't deal with the hard stuff. It's like, that's just one thing that's still got to work through.
Oh, yeah.
Matt made us, or had printed for us, a picture of Forrest and Owen. And it was, of course, Matt took it, so it was an amazing picture. And he had it framed and was generous and kind enough to give it to Forrest. And Reed loved that picture. And so he wanted it hung in his room. And so that picture of Forrest and Owen is hanging up in Reed's room. And my friend, a couple of friends of mine who live in Northwest Arkansas come to visit sometimes, and they stay in Reed sleeps in our room when they're here, and they sleep in his bed. And so my friend Devin came out one day, and he was like, I noticed that picture of Forrest and Owen in Reed's room. That was a really cool picture. And I told him, like, yeah, Matt took it. That was really awesome. And he was like, he got really sentimental about it. And he was like, that is so, he's like, I just was thinking about that. Like, most kids have, Michael Jordan on their walls and all that. And
I'm gonna cry.
he said, he's, and he came from a very broken home. And he was like, I never in a million years would have thought like of having a picture of my dad hanging on my wall. And he was like, that just really was special to see that Reed wanted that picture up, and it was there. And yeah.
Yeah.
It's a picture of the dog. He wanted the
Well,
dog. I mean,
You're
to be honest.
don't minimize it.
I'm not
You're
admitting-
in the
I
picture.
can't take the emotional stuff.
It's a picture of Forrest and Owen. Forrest is in the background. It's a beautiful picture.
I mean, I just think that just proves that it's not just hunting, right?
Right.
There's a bigger
Yeah.
picture. And I think as waterfowl widows, we have to keep that perspective or else we're going to all be divorced. Like, I mean, genuinely, like we have to keep that perspective that it's more than just they're gone and hunting and they've left us and things like that. We could easily get to that, but
Yeah.
we choose not to.
I think more and more I'm seeing how it's really not just this hobby that they're using to get away. Like he's not going to just play video games for hours and hours
Not
on
to
end.
dissociate, yeah.
Just to dissociate from he's not trying to just dissociate from the family, go be on his own, not have to listen to, noise and deal with kids. Like he's not trying to escape us. He is pursuing something. He's pursuing dreams and experiences and even just connecting with nature in a way that I think is just so important as humans. Like we have to be connected with God and with nature and getting to even be with friends. I think that's why he takes to duck hunting so much more than anything else, of course, because it's a lot more social. But on those hard days where it does feel like I just got left with dirty diapers and dishes and laundry and I don't get a Saturday or a rest day. I mean, we do try to protect our Sundays. I will say that Barrett is very conscious of trying not to let hunting bleed over into our Sabbath as a family. So I do appreciate that, but trying to separate the feeling that I feel of I'm getting left here in the real world and you're getting to go do something fun, trying to remember that it's so much more than that. And eventually my kids are going to share in that too. And he's going to have so much knowledge and stories and experiences to share with them. And this is now like a legacy. He didn't have this. His dad just hasn't been interested in hunting before. He didn't have that. And so now he is creating this that hopefully at least some of our kids, I mean, we got 3 kids. There's good chances at least one of them will be interested in sharing that legacy with him. So,
Well, and I will say that, when we went to the consignment sale, we found you some waders and me some too.
Yeah.
And so, I just am hopeful that one day we can
we will.
be involved as well.
We will. I know we will.
Because it is important.
Well, we have been.
Yeah.
We shot at ducks and geese. I don't think I hit it. You hit all of them. I didn't hit any of them.
That's right,
on that
I did.
trip. We had that one day of crane
true.
hunting that there were no cranes and we had to shoot ducks and geese. But
Yeah.
I think that's important too. Is just the spouse or partner does get to go hunting with, just to experience it too. Because I feel like if you haven't had that experience, like I didn't grow up in a family who hunted, so I didn't understand it. I knew that it was definitely is a bond between Matt and his dad, and they do it together. They love to doing it together. But whenever then Matt wanted me to come out with him, that was special for me. And then just to get to experience that and understand, okay, this is what it's all about. Now I get it.
this is why I don't hear from him on like for hours on end. Like even if he does have service, it's because I'm out here in a blind and I'm just like listening. I'm listening to the sound of birds and like just enjoying nature, and time just gets away from you. Like you get to go be lost in time. That's totally different than just being like, I haven't heard from you for 8 hours. Are you alive? But I think that's a good challenge maybe that we can charge some of the wives that are listening with is see if you can figure out a way for you to go with your husband, even to just watch and experience if you can make it happen on your schedule, because it does give you a different perspective.
Forrest has been talking to me more lately about going, wanting me to go. And I told him I will.
Yes.
I've never just refused
I can't wait
to
for
go.
this commentary.
Never just refused. I'm not that interested, but like I will go. But I said, you got to set it up. You got to plan it. You got to do all the logistics. This is not my thing.
So the other end of the deal.
You tell me where to be and when, and I'll be there. But that's up to you. So you all heard it. If he gets it set up, I will go.
So Tyler and I actually just had this conversation about, I want to go with you. And he's like, you got to tell me. And I'm like, I'm literally telling you right now. I want to go every chance we can get. I want to take the girls. We can find a sitter. Like, I want to go. But I don't want to be out in the rain. And like, I think I don't know enough about it to say, oh, today's a good day for me to go. Like I need him to say, okay, this is going to be a good hunt. Or even if we don't kill a bird, like I'm going to be in the Trump Hotel, or I'm going to be somewhere that I'm covered, and I'm going to watch my dog run, and I'm going to watch Owen run, and I'm going to watch, like, that's what I'm excited about. And so, yeah, we just had that conversation. I think that was last week when we had that conversation. Like, I want to go.
Something I was thinking about even before I got here is just the thought of helping each other create space. So it's one thing just in dealing with our spouses and hobbies and different things that we do. It's one thing to be like, well, you go do something. Well, okay, I could just run off and go do something. But there's also like creating space for that where like responsibilities are covered. There is a plan in place. Something has been put toward thinking through the process and how it's going to go and like logistics. I mean, Marissa and I, we've traveled quite a bit together, and we like make Google spreadsheets, like budgets, timelines, research restaurants. We put a lot of effort into the weather. Like we have the weather every day. We know what we're going to wear. Like we put a lot of effort into that. So all I'm saying is it's one thing to be like, okay, Marissa, I want you to go hunting. But it's another thing to be like, hey, yes, this is going to be a good weekend to go. I've made arrangements. I've set it up for you. This is how it's going to work with home life or with kids or whatever. So helping think through those logistics and creating space for your spouse is also an important part of that. It's not just extending the invitation, but then your wife has to figure out how to make it all happen. She's not going to,
I'm not doing that.
She's not going to be excited about that. She's not going to have a good attitude when it's time to leave.
Especially when I have to wake up so early. No, I'm going to have a good attitude after I get a couple cups of coffee in me. But like, no, that's a great point. So yeah. And I'm interested in like what that looks like with an infant.
Yeah, well, thankfully, I have the best in-laws in the world and a mother-in-law who's always willing to watch the baby. So
props to the families for real.
Literally, I don't know how else I would do it. So, yeah, your parents are a huge help.
So I'm going to circle back to what Jamie was talking about appreciating like what they're doing out there and, you know, encouraging the experience. Like it's a good experience and it's community and it's all that. I don't feel like that's my problem. I feel like I usually am like, okay, go. Like our kids are older. I understand it more now, like the benefit of it, and go. That's fine. What's really hard for me, what I'm really bad at is, we kind of touched on a little bit, is if he comes home complaining about the hunt. I am really bad at holding space for that, because I'm like, well, this was supposed to be fun, and now so I rearranged my day for you, and now you're coming home telling me it wasn't fun?
I sacrificed.
This better be fun
I
every
sacrificed
time.
my weekend, my time. I took on the responsibilities of both parents, and you didn't even have fun?
Right.
Whoa. Wait a second. Now, just because I'm complaining doesn't mean I did not have fun. There's a lot of things that people do. Golf is one of them. I can speak to that too, that I would come home complaining a bunch. I still had fun. I'm just complaining that it didn't go the way I wanted it to go.
Okay. That I was sharing my perspective of, I have a hard time acknowledging that.
We want to feel like it was worth it, at least. Like, okay, I'm willing to make this sacrifice. I believe in it. I understand it's important, but I want to know that it's worth it to you too, for us to carry the home side of the burden.
I would say that's a good reminder for us, and then all the guys listening too, because most of us are so competitive and goal oriented when it comes to hunting. It's like we want everything to go perfect, and you guys our wives are kind of like our safe space. We're not going to complain to our friends all the time, telling them how much they sucked.
Whatever, I hear those Marco Polos too.
Well, I don't know, just being conscious. I appreciate you bringing that up, of not coming home and complaining about it, and thinking about y'all's side of it too, because you are at home taking care of stuff, and we may be so competitive, like, man, that sucked. All right, we're going back tomorrow. We're going to try it again. Just how that looks on your side. So,
and honestly, asking us how our day was too would also be good. Maybe everybody's at a different level on that, but sometimes you're so wrapped up when you get home in what happened and the highs and the lows of it and whatever, and you want to come and you're complaining about it or whatever, and we're overwhelmed and overtouched and honestly feel kind of lonely. That's the other thing I don't think we've really actually verbalized is hunting season is lonely. Like, I miss Barrett. Having an adult to talk to, I miss him. So we've been lonely and taking on stuff at home. And then you come home and we want to ask because we care and we're trying to connect with you, but at the same time, making sure, like, how was it here? We kind of do the same thing on the other side, really complain about how hard it was.
Yeah. These kids.
These kids.
If he gets that text, he's like, I gotta go, guys.
I don't want to make Barrett feel bad. I don't want to make him feel guilty. I'm just trying to share the reality and the safe space, being open about my frustration. So I guess I'm just now actualizing both sides of the issue. Y'all come home and complain about the hard parts of the hunt. We tend to complain about the hard parts of being home with the kids, but we're really missing the connection, even though we're both trying to come to our safe space. I'm not resolving this for anybody right now.
No, I think that's a good articulation of it. And I do acknowledge, like, that is more of a me issue that I've got to be okay with, of like letting him complain and not complain, but whatever it is you're doing. Processing. Yeah.
It's fine. I complain sometimes.
Maybe we need to have a declared safe space, like 15 minutes of like, okay, you air it out, I'm going to air it out, then we're going to talk about the wins and we're going to talk about what's next. Yeah. Maybe that's what we need to do.
But I think that's part of why, like I said, feel like the season was overall smooth, but the hard parts felt really hard. And I think a lot of that was that y'all had a pretty crappy season apparently. And so we heard a lot of that. So that was part of it. I will tell a funny story about when things got a little tense for us. I can laugh about it now. I was not, that was the night I think I sent you the text that I was like,
There were all caps
come
involved.
and bail me out when I kill him.
Yeah, literally. That's what the text said.
Yeah, that was pretty
And
much
I think
what it
my
said.
response was, oh no.
So here's what he did.
The world's going to find out.
This is what he did. I can't even believe he did this. I cannot believe he did this. I said I got a new job last year. So part of my new job is I do a lot of intensive therapy. So I do work some weekends. And I didn't do a great job. I will know for next year. Next year, I will not do intensives during duck season. I'm just not. I'm unavailable. But last year, I thought, well, we'll just make it work, and he's making duck calls now. I've started this new job. So it was just, I don't know that I consciously thought this. It was more of an unconscious, like, okay, I want him to go hunt as much as he can, but my job kind of trumps that right now. And so I was just going ahead and scheduling my work weekends, and then he would accommodate to that. So he ended up not getting to hunt nearly as much as he wanted to. To me, it felt like perfectly adequate time. Seems like you're out there a lot, To him, it was not. And so
I just replayed.
I know.
Lord forgive me. So anyway, we get to about the middle of season, and that's when he starts getting, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to say it. He's whining more about how much he's not getting to go. He's getting a little mopey, and I'm like, cannot deal with the moping. And so we had like a tense moment around that and just kind of moved on. Like this was not like the one big fight we had. This was pre that. This was the setup for it. So we had that tense moment. We just kind of moved on. And I think I was in the bathroom, and I was just like looking at the calendar as one does, just seeing what's coming up in the next month or whatever. And I went to like next November to see what I went to next November to see, you're gonna have to be quiet. People can't hear me. I went to next November to see what is opening day. I'm going to try not to cuss.
Do it.
This man, I don't even know when he did it. Okay? I don't know when he did it. I have never, this is the most passive aggressive thing he's ever done in our marriage.
And y'all been married forever.
We've been married 16 years though. He put in all caps, forest duck hunting on every single day of the entire season.
Can I read the
next
text message?
year? And I came unhinged. I'm like on the toilet and I'm like, I swear to God, when I get out of this bathroom,
Can I read the first text?
you go, yeah, you can.
Y'all, we've arrived. We've arrived at that point in duck season where I might actually kill him. We made it half the season. Bail me out if I go to jail.
How'd the conversation go when you got out of the toilet?
It was, we don't fight ugly, and we don't fight often. So I would not say it was an ugly fight, but it was at least a couple of hours of like,
Come to Jesus.
oh man, like I don't even remember how I approached that part of it. I think I just came out and I was like,
Well, you said, was that necessary? That's what you said.
that's what I said. I said, was that necessary? I just want to make sure that next to you, I said in all caps.
I need Forrest's perspective on this. Of like,
I
when
mean,
you put
go
this,
ahead.
enter this into the calendar, what
I
are
will
you
gladly,
times.
I will gladly give my perspective on this. So I did that out of anger. I think that I went like 2 weeks or something or other without hunting. It was, I know, God forbid. I'm glad you're on my side. And I got pissed off about it. And I was like, well, I'll just put it in here because she forgot. And I remembered putting it in the phone and then forgot. And when she reminded me, I was like, yeah, that probably wasn't a good idea.
Okay, so let me ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you put that in there because of something she did or didn't do?
It was more, let's see. I don't think it was that. I think it was at the moment me feeling bad because I wasn't getting to hunt. It was my way of like acting out like a child.
Instead of having the conversation?
Well, no, I mean, we'd had the conversation, but it was seriously like I put it in there in anger and then forgot about it because honestly, I was like, she's not going to see it. It's in November. She's not going to see that.
And
I
you
was
forgot
wrong.
She was a woman.
I was, yeah, well, I didn't forget that, but I was wrong. I mean, it happened to me. Does it happen to anybody else here?
With the count? No.
No, I mean, being wrong.
Oh, yeah. Been wrong.
Yeah, but yes, it was wrong of me to do that. But we did get through it, and I totally forgot about it until you said that. I'm sorry.
I have the question that Jamie asked too. Did you have to type that in 60 different times? Forest duck hunting, or did you like?
No, like you can in there. You can put a
Tuesday,
start.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
You can put
every week until this date. Yeah,
You can put a start
60 times in
time.
a row. Forest duck hunting. Forest duck hunting. Forest duck
that's the equivalent of like slamming a door 60 times. He may have done that. I don't know.
Oh, that's a good picture, you know?
That was for slamming the door.
So I'll say what I did. That was kind of my dig back. Other than, I mean, we did have the conversation. So we have our phone calendar that we share. We also have an actual physical calendar on the wall in the bathroom.
Yes, you do. I've used the bathroom in there. And
Yeah, and you know
kind
our
of
life
been
now.
nosy,
Yeah. And so
Make sure my birthday was on there, and it was.
it was. I mean, not that I need the reminder. Anyway, I went to that calendar and I put like forest duck hunting like every day or something. I was like, all right, it's on there. Now, our house might get foreclosed on because I'm not going to work, but darn it, you're going to duck hunt every day that season.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, we recovered, and then we recovered. We worked through that fight. It was all good. Season ended, and then he stormed back through the door and was like, "And one more thing, turkey season."
Don't check your calendar in April.
Right. That's all. That's the story.
That's the story, and I'm sticking to it. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
I love you. So let's move into this because y'all have talked about hunting with us and it kind of being a family thing and seeing in the future like it truly becoming a family activity. So I want each one of y'all to kind of say what interests you the most, like because I know Tyler and Matt, y'all deer hunt, and Tyler or Matt, you're turkey hunting, and what interests each one of you ladies, like deer hunting, duck hunting, turkey hunting, all three, or is one leading the way?
I would say deer hunting just because I've had good luck with deer hunting.
Yeah, you
Thanks, girl. The times I've gone duck hunting, it weren't good mornings. Never saw anything. I was cold the whole time, and so
That's the hunt Matt takes me on too.
and so it's just never been fun for me personally. Not much interest to keep going, but I like deer hunting. I really do, and I've never had the opportunity to turkey hunt.
Yeah, and pro tip, you can control a lot more things in a deer blind. You can take a heater with you. You can take snacks. You can be a little bit more loud. So, I mean,
I'm quiet though.
I don't know. I've been on a crane hunt with a buddy heater.
Listen, I'm going to be crane hunting every year.
I heard
I'm
you
going
had
to
a
be
great
shooting them pterodactyls.
So you go next. What's
Yeah,
what's
that's
interesting?
it. Crane hunting. I love it. I think it's so fun. They're slow. They're easy to shoot. Yeah. We had a buddy heater. I mean, you had the buddy heater. I didn't have it on my side. But it's always fine.
Well, I don't like cold. I don't like early, but I do like guns.
You will love cranes.
duck season.
Well,
Deer season.
well, I want to say ducks because I figured I'd get to shoot the most. Theoretically, I would get to shoot the most.
You're a really
duck
good shot
hunting.
too.
Thank you. Because I feel like with deer, it's like you shoot once, right? So, but I really don't like duck meat, and I do like deer meat. So I don't know.
Maybe turkeys.
Yeah, maybe.
It is warm.
Full circle.
One of the best. One time when I went hunting, turkey hunting with Tyler, we took a nap.
Oh, Barrett was talking about the naps on
Yeah, because
the
it's
podcast.
warm in the sun, and
Oh, yeah.
it's really good nap weather. Turkey hunting. If you don't see,
Powerful napping.
yeah. I mean, I know in theory you're supposed to kill a turkey, but we didn't see any that day, and we napped.
I'll
Hey,
turkey hunt.
I'll do that.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's really good. I think I love duck hunting. I genuinely do. I love everything about a shotgun. I love watching the dogs. Like I said, I've never been deer hunting. I think the adrenaline rush of deer hunting, I would be hooked. But I really do enjoy duck hunting. We had some friends get engaged duck hunting one time. That was really special. Our dog delivered the ring.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really cool. Chase did that. So I don't know. I really enjoyed duck hunting.
Actually, the first time Barrett and I ever hung out together, when we first started dating, we were playing duck hunt on Wii, and I smoked him. So,
Well, it's kind of
y'all,
true.
it's true today. He has been putting off this duck hunting trip because he is worried.
No, and he has every right to be. Yeah, I mean, you can shoot a gun, and so,
Listen, I'll get up early. I'll sit in the cold. I'll do it. He just won't let me go yet because he doesn't want to see me shoot a pintail or something.
yeah, that's it. I think you nailed it.
So
been put on notice.
the first when we were dating, the first gift that Forrest ever gave me was a pair of duck slippers.
I did do that.
Duck
Did you love
slippers?
that?
What is that?
Were you confused?
It was slippers that look like mallards.
Oh, okay. I didn't
still
know
wear
if
your
they were
feet?
made of like feathers or something. I'm like,
Oh,
what is
no.
this? What are we talking about?
No, they were like he got them at Max. They were like
Cute.
probably for kids, but
How did you feel about that?
I mean, I was just so
Confused?
in love. Like he could have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Was she said.
I mean, I was 18. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I don't still have them.
I
I'm
remember
sorry.
Forrest and Leah 1.0 in your tiny little apartment.
Yeah. That was we were talking about that apartment yesterday because we were trying to remember how much we paid for rent. It was $369. That's what we paid for
Oh
rent.
boy, now you can know we're in our 30s.
369.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about rent prices.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's doubled.
And prescription
We looked it up
prices.
what it is now. It's
Y'all
doubled.
looked it up?
Yeah.
That was one bedroom. You didn't see the one bedroom.
Yeah. Okay. What else you got?
What else have I got? That's really all that I've got. I mean, is there more that y'all would? Is there something that y'all had in mind that you were going to talk about on the podcast? Because we've kind of touched on everything that I had typed up on my phone.
I will say that this past duck season, I was in a location physically that I didn't realize I was depressed. So being in our house that we built I think this season is going to be so much better just emotionally for me. Because like until you get out of that situation, you're like, oh my gosh, I was actually not good. And it was just like dark in there and just like cold. And so I'm okay with this season. Actually, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, well, that made me think of something. Good job. So we've got like 3.5 months before hunting seasons start again.
I'm sorry.
What?
Yeah, dove season starts the first weekend in September usually. So
Tyler doesn't usually do that. If he does, he
and
does
then
it
teal
one time.
season starts like the weekend after that. And actually, if they open up the velvet deer hunt, then that starts in August.
I'll be there.
So, it could be even sooner.
Can we make a hunter's calendar? Let's just create our
Well,
own.
I was going to talk about that. Like, how does everyone communicate about hunting season and days? So we have a shared calendar, but we don't actually put like hunting days on it. So I'm curious as to how everyone else does it.
Matt wakes up, says, I'm going hunting. Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, listeners, help us out. Anybody have any good processes and methods that you can share with us?
Because I think there's something to be said about how do we plan and how to communicate.
Ours works well as long as it gets on the calendar, and it usually does. But we both, everything in our life goes on that shared calendar. And the rule is if you didn't put it on the calendar, you may wake up and realize that you don't get to go that day.
That's why I put it
That's
on
why.
the calendar
Yeah,
so
okay,
early.
it all makes sense.
That wouldn't work out well for Tyler Wells. We forget a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Not me. He forgets.
me.
I live by a calendar. It helps my anxiety, helps me feel organized. I feel like it's a great communication tool without having to have so many verbal communications. And so, that's one thing that I think we could figure out a new system for. But then I understand weather is a factor. You can't always plan that. Migration, like you can't always plan that. Availability. Yeah, exactly. Availability.
Offers from others.
Correct. Knowing where you're, so I think it would be hard to have like something set in stone because there are so many variables. But
And I will say, Barrett and I had this conversation the other day of, okay, I do want you to put it on the calendar, but just because you put something on the calendar doesn't mean you get a pass from having a conversation with me about it.
that's true.
Because I have 3 kids and my own calendar to manage. And so then I look and you have something on there and now I have to adjust everybody else to make sure that it's open for you. So there has to be a balance for me of I don't want to just open the calendar and all of a sudden there's a bunch of stuff that's like literally punching holes in everything that I thought I was going to do for the week. I have to have the conversation too.
How do y'all feel? Because y'all are early in the parent journey, right? How do y'all feel about hearing some of this feedback, and what are some ideas that maybe y'all would have as to, okay, let's take this piece or let's add this piece?
Our situation is just so different from most people because it is literally Matt's job to go out, hunt, film, make content, record content. It's so like every day it's just part of his job. And so I feel like most wives, husbands have a full-time job and then also go hunting on top of that. I don't have to deal with that. That is his job. So what would you say to that?
Yeah, the calendar thing's interesting. We're not there at this point right now because as of today, he's 4 months old. We're not having to juggle baseball practice, football practice, and then more kids down the line. So it's interesting to hear y'all talk about that and to think about it for the future. But definitely right now it's like, all right, we're winding down for the night. What shoots do you have tomorrow with your job? This is what I have going on. What time are you going to be home? Okay, see you then. Say bye in the morning. That's just kind of how we are right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're so, I feel like we're behind everybody else with like kids, and we're just now starting to figure it out.
Maybe we'll have answers by the
Yeah,
time
you,
you get there.
tell us.
And we're both super blessed to have pretty flexible jobs, so we're not in the same boat as a lot of people. Like she was saying, that work a full-time job and only are able to hunt on the weekends.
Right.
So that makes a big difference.
Yeah, I will say that has been beneficial. Like for Tyler to be able to be in the industry and, you know, be able to go with clients or take clients out during the week.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like I don't even notice if it's during the week because I'm working.
Right.
I actually enjoy weekday hunts.
I kind of
more.
prefer it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because then, like Saturdays, that's kind of my recoup day where I do laundry. And then Sundays are actually genuine rest for me. And so, yeah, but I know that's not always possible, but that is a luxury we have.
Yeah.
And I know that, you know, like the weekend warriors, which we all used to be, and now we've kind of transitioned.
What do you mean used to be?
Well, seriously though, like
Yeah.
that y'all started this podcast of like public land, weekend warriors, and I know y'all are still in that a little bit, but we do have more flexibility, and it is a blessing because, you know, I don't think a lot of the waterfowl widows have that.
Mm-hmm.
And so to help us remember what it's like to have only the weekends to hunt when everyone else had a full-time job.
Yeah.
Well, minus Matt, but yeah, minus Matt. He's in kind of that anomaly situation. But I mean, y'all, Barrett, Forrest, and Tyler could only hunt during the weekend.
Well, although, I mean, our trade-off is if Barrett's hunting, he's not working.
Right.
So when you're
Well,
self-employed.
us too.
Yeah, us too. Yeah, we were the same way.
Yeah. So that's just a different level. Like that's the trade-off, I guess. We have that flexibility, but also it's a conscious choice of your salary also depends on your work hours.
Yeah. If you're not working, you're not making money.
Right.
Or if you're not making duck calls.
But
making
luckily
money.
real estate is often slow in the wintertime. So it usually works out really well for Barrett, but sometimes he's not slow. So
Okay, back to the original question of
What was it?
what are y'all excited about for the next 3.5 months that there's no hunting season? What are you looking forward to?
I know what I'm excited about.
yeah, going to ride some water slides.
And the lake.
Oh my goodness, let's go.
Jamie's duck season.
That is my, I literally talk about it's my hunting season.
Do you have it on calendar for every Saturday?
I should.
In all caps.
Jamie floating in the lake.
No.
Lake SZN.
I think the next, well, I will say this is Tyler's busy season. Like it just started. Like today, we did photographs for Piper's BB gun team, and Tyler had to work, and so he's coming into development season as soon as it stops raining. So everyone pray that it stops raining. So it's kind of like I'm not going to have a lot of time with him. I mean, he leaves before the sun comes up and he comes home when the sun comes down. So I do think during the summer, though, he does a really good job of Saturdays. Those are our lake days, and we do get to spend time with him. So I'm looking forward to just summer. I'm a summer girl, being with my girls. This is the first summer that I'm not having to have a sitter every day. I'm taking 2 days off a week to be at home with them. And just because the Lord's blessed us financially and I'm able to do that. And I'm actually really looking forward to those days with them. They're not going to be little forever. So
Same.
what are y'all looking forward to?
Just Saturdays where neither of us have to set an alarm.
Yes.
I am blessed that my children will sleep late on the weekends if they're allowed to.
What is that like?
It just like kind of happened one day because, Reed was not a good sleeper when he was a baby and Hudson was. And if I let them stay up a little bit late and do not wake them up, then, Reed will sleep till 10 and Hudson will get up maybe about 8, but he'll just go into the living room and turn on the TV and just lay there and watch
Ainsley,
TV
don't
until we
listen
all
to
get
that.
up.
Don't listen to that. Don't get that in your mind. My kids wake up at 6:15 7 days a week.
I'll tell you what my girls do is during the week, they'll try to sleep in for school, and we're having to drag them out. But the weekends, they are up at 6 a.m.
Up with the sun, up with the sun.
I'm like, what is that? That is a blessing.
No, it is. And so if we don't have to set an alarm, they will let us sleep. And that's wonderful. You know what I forgot to say earlier? This just came to my head. A reason why this duck season was so much better than the last few, because of Hank.
He's gone.
Because Hank was a total dud as a duck dog. And so he didn't ever get to go duck hunting. So it wasn't that he was leaving me with kids. It's that he was leaving me with kids and Hank.
That's true, Leah.
And Hank and I did not get along.
You just had a flashback.
Yeah, I did. Hank and I did not get along. I'm sure you've gathered that. And so
We're still talking about Hank.
Are
we all
due to
traumatized?
Yes, we're all traumatized.
We'll be talking about Hank for years.
Due to various circumstances, Hank was not with us this duck season, and Owen was either actually getting to go, or calm down. Owen was either actually getting to go, or
He was with us for part of season.
when Owen's home with me, he just mopes. I mean, he doesn't. He just sit. Shh. When Forrest is gone, Owen just mopes. He just sits there and goes on a hunger strike, and won't eat. Just lays there, or he'll lay on the back porch and just stare off into the distance.
Does he whine or anything?
No.
Huck
You barely
paces.
know he's there. I have to remember that he's there and let him out. So, honestly, that made a big difference when I wasn't being left at home with Hank.
Owen went with me every time but once, though.
Yeah, that was great. But even when you don't take Owen, he's not a bother. Anyway.
Huck did not like being left home when Barrett went turkey hunting. He would just pace and just clack on the floor all day.
Barrett used to take him to work, though.
Yeah,
How come
sometimes.
he doesn't do that anymore?
Sometimes he does, sometimes he don't.
Yeah.
Now it's getting to the point where the kids get sad if Huck goes with Barrett. Fisher is he's our dog kid for sure.
Yeah.
He'll ask about him multiple times in the day.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to struggle this season not going when Ruby's going. Because I want to see her. I want to experience, I'm super attached to her. And so if she's working, I want to witness it because I loved watching Chase run and retrieve. And it's just so unbelievable what those dogs can do. I mean, genuinely, it's unbelievable. So, and having them over a few times, all the dogs together, I mean, I could just sit out there for hours as long as I got a ranch water.
Yeah, they're
Y'all.
fun to watch.
Yeah. And how they interact and how they're patient and how y'all working them. It's so fun.
Now, if the kids could get the memo.
Yeah, what is up with that?
Yeah. Why can't we train dogs and not kids?
What is wrong with us?
Last time we were all over here with the kids, we finally had just had enough, and Tyler had the great idea of giving money to whoever made the biggest pile of rocks.
Yeah.
Because it's new construction here. There's a lot of rocks. He needed the rocks picked up. And they took it really seriously. I could post those pictures, but they took it real seriously.
I loved it. They did a great job.
They were very competitive about it.
Because they were whining and complaining. And
Yeah.
then when we were like, all right, here's $1, $1
Yep.
for rocks. Huh? Yeah, cheap labor. Which one won? Was it Reed? No.
They all won for certain reasons.
He gave out quarters.
That's
Yeah.
right. Because then they were like, well, what about mine? Then the whining started. So we just divvied up $1. Everyone got a quarter. And they were like, this is not worth it.
Participation trophies.
Yeah,
They're
I
not
know.
worth it.
We got sucked into that. Everyone gets prize. I know. Just be quiet.
Well, speaking of ranch waters, I am also excited about lake season for the next few months. I just love being on the water. I love just how quiet it is unless we have music playing. And I just love seeing Barrett in his most relaxed state just because he's always got so much on his mind with work. And on lake days, that gets put at the very back of his mind. And so when he's just out there relaxing and listening to music and cutting up and stuff, I love getting to see him in that state. And
It
then-
probably is like hunting. You know how they go and then you just forget about time. I can resonate with that on the lake,
yeah, for sure.
except when they get whiny, the kids. And then we're like, this is our signal. Let's go. We're like, we got to get out of here. What about you, Ainsley? What are you looking forward to this summer?
We usually do a summer vacation. We usually go to Florida, go to the beach. That's usually our getaway. We haven't planned it yet, but that'll probably happen soon. So, beach days.
Oh, I love
We're doing that. We're going to the beach for the first time with the boys.
First time they'll see the ocean.
Reed has seen it in California. He saw it last year, but Hudson never has. We'll see how that goes. I'm really nervous about tsunamis and sharks and riptides and jellyfish.
All
I
at
don't think
once.
I don't think we're in the right hemisphere for
No,
tsunamis.
are we? Well, I hope not.
Jamie
Not in the Gulf Coast.
There's me. I was talking about with someone at work by like our hierarchy of fears, and I was like, tsunamis are way up there for me. And someone said, "Well, have you seen that movie, The Impossible?" And I was like, "Why do you think I'm so scared of tsunamis?" Yes, I've seen
It is
that
a
movie.
like the tidal wave recurring nightmare is real, and why do we have that?
I don't know.
It's probably that movie.
No, it was long. I mean, even as a kid, I remember like I have that same thing.
Tsunami was the thing?
Yes. Well, tidal wave. Being on the beach and seeing a wave like larger than life coming at me and crashing on me. It's probably means something. Y'all can probably tell me that and then Night of the Tornadoes.
Well,
probably because I grew up
could
with
assume
Twister.
a reverence fear of God because like you can't control water and he created it. I don't know. Anyway,
I figured it was
I'm
just the
projecting.
fear of life crashing on me, but whatever.
I think both could be
life
true.
life hitting me like a
Tidal wave.
I guess we could have a session. We're gonna be on.
Yeah. So hierarchy of fear, tidal wave.
Tsunami,
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
specifically a tsunami. Heights are probably above that.
Heights? So
Yeah.
you're not riding a roller coaster with me?
No, that's me.
I know you're my coaster.
I don't know. Maybe. That's a new fear for me. It's something I developed as an adult. So no, I'm not really into rides anymore. Sorry.
It's okay.
Would I do it for you? Probably, but
Well,
I wouldn't be happy about it.
You'd come back and complain and
Yeah.
I'd say, it's okay. We put it on the calendar. We're fine.
Anyway, beach. Yeah, that'll be fun.
What'd you just say for us?
I said that's going to be our new T-shirt idea. Is we put it on the calendar
You're welcome.
along with our decal. These kids.
Now, I guess maybe Hut Proof or somebody needs to make like a calendar like addition to the app. Something that integrates with Google Calendar and syncs with the weather. Onyx, Hunt Proof, somebody. You're welcome. Call me. Give me a cut.
Yeah. That is a good idea. I like this fear conversation.
What are you afraid of?
A lot.
You've conquered a lot
I
of
have
fears.
conquered a lot of fears. I used to be deathly afraid to fly. Like I used to, I took Xanax for it. We almost got. Well, I assumed we were getting divorced
On our honeymoon.
because I could not function.
And you chose a very far away destination.
Yeah,
Why did you go to
I don't know. Bora Bora is a really long way. Why did I do that?
Going, it was coming back.
Yeah, it was coming back. Well, going was pretty rough, but coming back, I dreaded coming back the whole time I was there. So I didn't actually enjoy Bora Bora. It's an amazing place, but I was like, I got to get back on that plane for 36 hours. And so, yeah, but we went out west, and that was the first time I didn't use Xanax.
I'm so proud of you.
And I killed it. After that,
Yeah,
I was
you
like,
did.
I'm not afraid. Also, a will really helps with that. Knowing what your kids, your kids are going to be okay and have estate planning and things like that. Again, I'm in my 30s. So, just the ease of that.
I think you also used to be afraid. You were not into the idea of lake season at all.
No,
when we
the
first
water.
brought it up.
Yeah.
Not being able to see
Yes.
the water.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's kind of murky around here.
Yep.
And look at you. now.
Piranhas.
What?
See,
That's
I've
a
swam with
legitimate
piranhas.
fear. Didn't? Yeah, come on. You played Donkey Kong as a
Yeah,
kid.
I did.
The piranhas.
Yeah.
I
Those
saw
are
you
real.
post that story today, and I was like, that is exactly why we all have anxiety. It's Donkey Kong on the mine cart.
And why did we think quicksand was going to be so much of a problem?
Because it was when we were kids. It was in all the movies.
And there was none around. I've never
Is it even
known.
a thing?
I guess sinkholes.
real?
Sinkholes are real.
Okay, now we watched a video the other day, and Piper, she saw it, and I was like, "Oh, great, here we go." And she was like, "Why does that happen?" And I was like,
Earth just gives out from
I
under
have
you.
no idea.
Swallows
I
you
said,
whole.
well,
It
it's
is
because
biblical.
we're in a dying world. That's what I told her. What do I say?
I don't know.
That's you can't plan it. You can't anticipate it. The world just caves in on itself.
I've had enough.
Like seriously though,
I mean, yeah.
it's not a fear of mine.
It's a lot of natural disasters. You can't.
Exactly.
That's why tornadoes are the best because you can plan for them.
Yeah,
you know
that's
they're
true.
coming. Todd Ucobian tells you that they're coming.
Yeah, but when they actually come and hit your house,
Right. Then it's
Then you should be in the bathtub
You know
or
what?
underground.
The other day, I can't remember what it was. I smelled something, and I dreamed. I was like, I dreamt that our house got on fire. That is a genuine fear
Y'all are
of mine.
stressing me out right now.
Yeah, I
I
don't
gotta
like
go
this
home and go to bed.
conversation.
It's the therapist. What are they doing?
We don't avoid it.
My bad.
We're all trying to avoid fears, and y'all are just bringing it up and talking about it.
gotta be able to
So where
plan.
can we find you to book sessions?
Yeah, right,
Leah, do you want
right,
to plug
right.
yourself right here?
Inwells.co.
She's gonna throw it out there for real though, and talk about estate planning.
That's right.
But it's
That's right.
just
That's
gonna
right. That's right.
advertise it all.
But yeah. Anyway, fears. Oh, I will say, I used to have a fear of Tyler hunting. So he used to do bow fishing. Y'all, there is no fear like knowing he's on the Arkansas River at night with lights, and I just imagined him dying. It was just like one of those things. And then I can't come get you. That was I literally said, I can't. Why do you tell me you're on the Arkansas River? I cannot come get you. I physically cannot come get you. It's not because I wouldn't call someone. It's like I feel like I have to be responsible for saving him. So we could therapize that, but that I used to be definitely.
Therapize. Is that a word?
Yeah, we
I'm
use it.
impressed.
Yeah, it's like the verb.
I really struggle whenever actually during hunting season. This is one that I have is when I wake up when Barrett's about to leave and just worrying about black ice and just like driving in the middle of the night, and
Falling asleep.
drunk people. I worry about him driving to go hunt all the time.
And
Did he
Ansley,
tell
do
you we almost got a ticket the other day when we went
Okay.
turkey hunting?
Was he driving?
Yeah, he was. Of course, I wasn't driving.
To have words.
No, Barrett almost got a ticket.
Ansley, do you have any fears you'd care to share with us?
just the normal ones: spiders, cockroaches, bugs,
Yeah.
tornadoes.
A
Yeah,
lot of
I grew up in
moccasins.
Illinois. Tornadoes did not used to be a fear, but then whenever one hit our tree over last year,
Oh yeah, y'all were in the Little Rock.
yeah,
I was turkey hunting in Florida. She was by herself.
No kidding.
so there's.
I remember
there's
texting
that.
you.
You texted me. I was in the bathtub with my dog
Yeah.
and with couch cushions over us. Text or calling Matt, and then like the calls were dropping because there's no service. And then next thing I know, my neighbor's knocking on my door saying, "You have a huge tree down in your yard." Like,
my
oh,
gosh.
good. But God protected us. I mean, it felt the only way it could have, where it
Yeah.
did not hit our house. It did not. Yeah. So anyway, but tornadoes so now are a fear of mine. But yeah, not really. Intruders come in the house at night if Matt's gone.
Do you worry about something happening to him while he's hunting?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah,
I really
that's
do.
that's a real
just
one.
just with especially duck hunting. If there's a lot of people, all the guns. I mean, there's just always that.
Boats.
Boats, waders, drowning.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the
Cold
one
water.
for me.
We'll say
Drown.
Matt wears his slot vest all the time.
Well, and there's a good reason for that too. Yeah. So yeah, there's definitely a fear with.
Sorry, what?
Story?
hunting
Story
as well,
time?
so-
What's the reason?
I was hunting with my dad on the Arkansas River in the ice one day, and he ended up falling off the back of the boat.
Oh my gosh.
The dog shifted his weight, and he kind of lost his balance and fell in. Didn't have a life jacket, and I was up on the bank, and we were on the river in a really deep spot, so I couldn't do anything. So I was just watching it, and luckily he was able to make his way to the back of the boat and climb back up in. And he already has back issues, can't feel his left leg or left foot, so that didn't help anything. So it was just a helpless feeling.
Oh my
watching.
goodness.
So
That's traumatic.
he kind of made me always wear my life jacket after watching that.
Yep. So this is why we all need to have life insurance and wills and
Life
More
jackets.
old people ads.
I will say,
Diabetes.
whenever when Willens posts videos of like the boats and stuff, that one's always wearing his life jacket, and I praise him every single time because what do we know about behavior? If you praise it, it happens more often.
positive reinforcement. Yes.
And so I want him to know, like, you help me by helping you.
Help me help you.
Help me help you. So there's no shame in being safe.
It's so easy, especially
It's so easy.
the ones that they have out now. You forget that you're wearing them. There's many times I've been halfway through a hunt and I look down and I'm still wearing my life jacket. I'm like, what am I doing? It's just, you forget they're there, but they can save your life.
That or even deer hunting, like getting up in the tree, and if you're not
Yes.
hooked in, like, I'll always tell him, like, you better be hooked to that tree.
Yeah.
That's
like,
right.
you better.
It's kind of irresponsible as a man to not be safe.
It is.
I
It's
mean,
one thing if you're single and don't have anybody dependent on you, but once you're married and then
Yes.
you have kids involved, it's like, it's just so easy to hook onto a lifeline or take the extra couple minutes that it takes to get up in a tree stand, throw your life jacket on. It takes 10 seconds.
Well, and even to go deeper with it is if you don't value your own life to take care of yourself, even if you are single, I mean, like, you're worth something, right? Like you have to take value in your own life. So it's not that hard to be safe. And that one's always got a tourniquet. So if something happens, and a first aid kit and Band-Aids and whatever else you need, and a pistol. You
Couple of
carry a
them.
pistol in your backpack? Yeah. So, you just hear those horror stories. And so we just,
Yeah. So y'all just know that your wife is thinking about that. We're worried.
So
Be
even
safe.
though you've lost track of time because you're enjoying nature, like, please at least be considerate and be like, hey, we made it, whatever. Hey,
Yeah. That's a
Leaving,
good point.
like-
That is a good point.
just for our own peace of mind,
Yeah.
it's so helpful to be able to just go back to sleep.
And you realize how much that does actually play a part in their sanity when you forget to send that I made it text and then you go out and you don't have service for a couple hours and then like Tyler's showing up. Ansley's called me 27 times. Are you okay? It's like, oh, I forgot to send that I made it text this morning.
Oh, I've called Ben Wellens more than once.
You've called me more than once too.
Listen, I don't play that game.
I just stopped. I'm like, well,
Well,
I'll
and
hear
I
from him
have-
when I hear from him.
We have Life
Maybe.
360, so there's been times where we've
Yeah.
all like, where are they? And I'm like, well, they're on blah blah blah. I try not to look until someone asks because I can get very obsessive about it, of like worrying, and so it actually hurts me by looking at it so much. But it does help, and I know y'all forget sometimes because you're in the moment, but like the peace of just like,
Knowing you're safe. That's really
Yeah.
what we care about. We're just trying to put all of these crazy, completely rational fears to rest.
they really are rational.
They
They
are.
feel
We
irrational.
hear the stories.
Yeah.
What was it? Somebody in Oklahoma that died duck hunting, right?
Yeah.
Last year. I didn't make that up.
You didn't make
Pretty
it
sure.
up. There were
Friend of a
several
friend.
last year.
Yeah.
Well,
friend of a
we
friend.
had some close friends from across the way. They got shot at because they were hunting. I don't know if it was deer or hog or something, but person died.
Wow.
And so, I mean, they sound irrational, and I'm sure there's a lot of listeners who are going to be like, "Oh my gosh, that would never happen." It takes one time.
Once.
So, anyway, y'all
Like
want
I
a
tell
woman's
Barrett every time he
perspective.
leaves, don't leave me with all these kids.
That's right. These kids, don't leave me
with all these kids.
We say that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Don't leave me with these kids.
Okay, so I guess we've been going a while. It doesn't feel like that long, but why don't we go ahead and shift over to something not so depressing, although these are fun conversations. I like talking about what I'm afraid of. Makes it feel not so scary. Let's end, why don't we end by talking about something we're either grateful for, let's do like the Thanksgiving talk, or something that we appreciate about the season. I will say my favorite part of this last year has been the addition of Matt and Ansley to our group.
Oh, thank you.
For a lot of reasons. One, y'all are just fun. Like, you're totally normal people, totally fun. I appreciate how normal y'all are. And, Matt has just been such a blessing in that I talked about the picture you gave, but like, you know, everyone always shows up for Forrest at his contests. Even if they can't be there physically, they show up like emotionally and support. But Matt was my buddy at the World Championship. Like, I didn't have to sit there alone. At the World Cut Down, Matt sprinted across the Expo Center to get the picture of Forrest winning. I love, like, when we're recording and Ansley got to come over and just hang out. And y'all have just been such a wonderful addition. And we really love y'all.
We definitely appreciate that and echo it to y'all, too. It's been nice having a group of friends that also have wives involved, too, where it's not just like, all right, I'm going to hang out with the guys, and Ansley feels like she's at home. She has a core group of girls with her. So we definitely appreciate being a part of this.
Yeah, Matt just lights up around the guys and hunting, and it's just fun to hear the stories. So
I like
definitely
having some young
ditto.
pups. Y'all are new to the family scene. I feel like we can kind of like mother you too.
It helps me keep accountable.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm in this older person role now, and yeah.
Even just remembering when y'all told us that you were pregnant when we were on the lake.
On the lake.
Yes, eating peanut butter and jelly. It was so cute. And just getting to have that moment of just remembering what that's like and all the excitement and first baby and stuff. So I'm glad that we get to share that with y'all. It's really cool.
And you can catch Ansley on Good Morning Arkansas every day.
Had to be said. Had to be said.
Ansley Watson.
Matt and Ansley Watson.
Tyler, tell the story real quick, just about being down in Des Arc. So Ansley's done a ton of live shows down in Des Arc on Channel 7, and the community's really gotten to know her. But they don't know her as Ansley Covington. The viewers know her as Ansley Watson. And go ahead, Tyler.
Because if you don't know, she actually hosts Good Morning Arkansas.
Right.
Yeah,
That is my job.
So the people in Des Arc love Ansley. Every time we walk into like Snow White's or one of the restaurants there, they're like, "Oh, well, how's Ansley?" Like they never ask Matt, like, "Hey, how are you doing?" It's always, "How's Ansley? How's our baby?"
Yeah, now it's how's Ansley and that baby?
Yeah, so
I'm doing great.
Came in the other day by yourself.
Yeah, I came in by myself to pick up food, and the owner of Snow White's, he's like, "Hey, how's Ansley doing? How's she doing after the baby?" I'm like, "She's doing great, Crew's doing great." And she's like, "What's that guy that always comes in here with you?" And I'm like, "Well, that's her husband, Matt." So, Ansley's made a huge impact on the city of Des Arc, and Matt's behind the scenes making a huge impact on that community as well.
He really is,
we're
though.
pouring a ton of money into that community based on the amount of properties we're selling down there. So, it's just hilarious. Every time we walk in there, they're like, "Well, how's Ansley?" Like, "She's great." It's never like, "Well, how are y'all doing today?"
Chop liver.
That's sweet.
I'm thankful. So Barrett and I just celebrated 13 years of marriage.
Congrats.
Y'all did too. Hey, we're Tuesday. Oh, Tuesday. Yes.
Well,
Y'all
we're
are very
doing
close.
We're doing our architect meeting.
Shh. Okay, so I'm thankful. 13 years of marriage, 13 years of just getting better at being married. It's a skill. I don't know if y'all know that. It takes a lot of work and practice and grace and do-overs. And so I'm just thankful that I feel like Barrett and I are just constantly moving forward in how we interact with each other and support each other and communicate with each other. And I think this duck season is just another level of learning, but I appreciate the big picture of the longevity of our relationship and growing together. So
I think I'm thankful. I'll speak to the podcast. I think it's really cool to watch you guys interact with the public, because who you show them is actually who you are. And we were at Big Cedar Lodge this past winter, and we were on during the split. That was one of our trips that I was talking about. And so our business trip that we take every year, and we were in the gift shop. We have these mugs from a long time ago. We were like, we need to replace them. The logo's worn out. And all of a sudden this guy says, "Tyler?" And we turn, and he's like, "I listened to the podcast." And y'all, it was the coolest moment for me. I was fangirling, and I'm married to him. So it was like this really precious moment of just y'all are making an impact, and I'm really thankful. My goodness, y'all have had the director of the Game and Fish. He's a regular. Just the things that you guys are doing, I'm very thankful that y'all are good Christian men setting an example for everyone that's to follow. So I'm really thankful for what y'all have done.
We even have a friend from the gym that we were talking about the podcast, and he gave it a listen, and he was like, they're actually really fun to listen to. I'm like, I know it's because of their friendship. Like, that's what it is. You get a window into their friendship.
And it's just genuine. Like,
yeah.
Honestly, who they are on the podcast is who they are. And I think as wives, we know intimately who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And so if anybody out there is questioning, like, do they just laugh all the time because they're just doing that for the podcast? No, like, they genuinely love each other. We support each other in the hard times. We celebrate the good times. We just do life together. And the podcast is just an extension of that.
Thanks for having us on again, guys. Are y'all going to let us do it again?
Definitely.
So
Hopefully next time we come on, it'll be with our own hunting experiences to share.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do a whole group one, the 8 of us.
Oh, man. It'd be a whole
All
big
those
deal.
babysitters.
bigger boat.
Okay. So what are we supposed to say here? Like and subscribe, all that.
Go ahead, Leah.
Do what you do with podcasts. Like them and rate them and subscribe and
Comment,
share 'em.
share. Mm-hmm.
Share this one.
Do the things.
Tell all
Make
your friends.
this episode the
Yes.
most popular
Everyone
episode.
do us a solid favor.
Yeah.
Do the
And
widows
make
a
this one-
favor.
If y'all want us back on, it's up to y'all.
Yep. Let it be known.
Okay. Thanks for listening.
Widows out.
Bye.